Hello, Renegades and the City of Bakersfield community. In this session of Transformational Policing Model, we will look at some American heroes, individual filters, and we'll also look at word definitions. Some of our favorite heroes we'll talk about is Dr. Martin Luther King, the Kennedy brothers, Cesar Chavez, Rosa Parks, President Obama, Dolores Huerta, Colin Powell, Harriet Tubman, and many others, to include Daniel Inouye, Senator from Hawaii, and Kamala Harris. We're going to look at basic word definitions. What does the word prejudice mean? What does race mean? What's the difference in nationality and ethnicity? What's the difference in disparity and discrimination? Diversity, bias, and stereotyping. These are all words that are commonly used, but we need to define the words in order to make sure we properly use them. Other filters will include age, gender, and sexual preference, our religion, and our social economics. Some of us have double jeopardy. For instance, I know two friends who are female police chiefs who are female, and they're also African American. City of Phoenix and the former chief of Santa Monica. I've talked with them. Double jeopardy is important, and they understand, but they always make the ethical, professional decision regardless. We will look at the timeline of distrust, from when the first slave ship arrived here in 1636 to the Civil War, to the passing and then repealing of Proposition 209. We will talk about the compensation by California and Africa and America to African Americans. Black ideology, so important. Many young black youth growing up in America adapt a philosophy or an ideology to walk through. Some of those included the Nation of Islam and Malcolm X, the Black Panther Party, Dr. Martin Luther King's nonviolent movement, and finally, the newest, Black Lives Matter, the philosophy which is really taken on, was a result of Trayvon Martin. And now it's really grown since George Floyd. I want to also talk about gangster rap. Gangster rap, I believe, does influence how a lot of our young people in general, specifically African Americans, react. Finally, we'll look at the three concepts that are discussed in TPM of implicit bias or an unconscious belief that affects your decisions and your actions, constitutional policing, from the First, the Fourth, the Fifth, the Sixth, the Eighth, and the 14th Amendment. As I just said, those amendments, how many of you out there actually know what those amendments are and what they stand for, whether you're in law enforcement or community members? It's important for both to know. I'm going to talk about procedural justice. It's a form of policing that started in Chicago and is emanated across the country. Bakersfield's own version of it is called principle policing, where the principles of justice, fairness, and interaction are what's important. Finally, we're going to look at racial profiling. Did you know that two ships were named after civil rights activists? Cesar Chavez, the USNS Cesar Chavez, and Cesar was a naval veteran, and a ship is now named after him. The USNS Medgar Evers, civil rights activist who was gunned down in front of his home, was an Army veteran. We will look at case studies in TPM. From Rodney King, Michael Brown, to Freddie Gray, to Eric Gardner, and George Floyd, sadly enough. Our nationwide call to action is to change the behavior through education and training. Thank you, Renegades. Thank you, community of Bakersfield. We stand as one, and we stand with you.